What's going on, guys? Welcome back to what I would call an emergency recording session. I have to admit, well, first off, I'm joined by Taylor. Everybody knows Taylor, one of my co-hosts on Breakpoints, and also a member of the Card Guys team. Taylor, how are you, dog?
I'm doing great. How about you, man?
I am doing well. I am doing well. Thank you for dropping your plans and jumping on here to talk about what might be the hero that has taken LL by storm over the last few days. When you know the last couple weeks started, I did not have Marlin on my decks I should test into in LL, and I was watching Nathan stream the other night, and he was talking about how this deck was real. And I started getting messages, and they were like, "Is Taylor onto something?" And I was like, "If he is, I don't know about it. Like, what? You tell me what's going on." Nathan's sharing the sauce. So what's going on here?
Well, I found out when you're playing LL, if you add a lot of cards that draw cards into a deck that's all about disruption, it's really good. And and like Nathan kind of like, hey guys, it's a good deck. And I mean, I tell everyone I'm playing Marlin in both formats, and everyone's like, that's nice. But then when you had like another card guy come out and go, no, it's actually a good deck, and everyone's like, oh shit, it's a good deck, and you're like, yep, it's a good deck.
Oh, that's so funny. Because I feel like every time I see a tier list of yours, it's at the top, and I'm always just like, Taylor Cope, and I go on looking at the rest of the tier list. But man, like it seems like we're making some real waves here.
Yeah.
So as we take a look at the deck, like looking at like the main 60 here, there are a lot of cards that you see in CC that you play like in the same CC deck. There are a few notable standouts here. The first one being Art of War. So Art of War is very traditionally known as like a, go wide or like set up this like Exodia style like combo turn. How does Art of War fit into Marlin?
Well, first off, I want to thank Flesh and Bad for letting me borrow their deck list to talk a little bit about the deck.
Hey, let's go.
So thank you, Aurora. So thank you. But regarding Art of War is kind of like the reverse Zen in this deck, where instead of trying to go large, I just want to draw my cards, have a reload target. Art of War is also kind of like in the Zen build, where I'm going to use my hero power to generate a token, so I can Art of War it away, which taxes your Goldfins, which other cards like Big Game Trophy Shot, Portside Exchange, and Tipple are all needing to play correctly. But of course, Art of War is a draw too, which is an insanely broken line of text in Flesh and Blood.
Yep.
And it's really nice too because you can do it off of like a tunic or something, and if you do it off of a tunic, it's essentially just your what would be 7th, 8th, and 9th 3-oak. That's really good. In my opinion, it's really good.
What a sentence to say out loud. I feel like if you take nothing away from this video, just remember that Taylor said his 7th, 8th, and 9th copies of 3 of a kind.
Yeah. See, the thing about like Art of War, Cash In, and 3-oak is when you play them, you draw cards, and then you find other 3-oak, Art of War, and Cash Ins. So it kind of spirals. It's a big boulder rolling down a hill whenever you play these cards, because you're going to start like catching heat, and then your numbers are going to be bigger and bigger and bigger until the game spirals.
So basically, we're using Art of War, 3 of a kind, and Cash In, what we're going to talk about here in just a second, to like draw us into other effects that are just like doing these crazy things, allowing us to activate cannon, like, play any pumps that we can. So it's not really used for like a go wide strategy like you would in like other heroes.
This hero is very rarely ever going to go more than 3 chain links wide, and that's a rare one. That would be like a sleep dart into a tipple into the actual harpoon that you're swinging. So that's about as rare as that's going to get.
Okay, so most of the time, even though we're drawing with it, there are some scenarios where you could use Go Again effectively. Okay, interesting. So moving on, the next card that really like I feel like is like the big standout that we get to play in LL is Cash In, which I'm assuming since you referred to Art of War as copy 7, 8, 9, Cash In's probably copies 4, 5, and 6 and 3 of a kind.
Yeah, this after playing, I thought originally Gravy was the reason that Cash In was banned, but I think it might have actually been Marlin.
Okay.
it is a drug to play this card in this deck. Games just spiral every time you draw it. You can have a functionally 2 card 10s 2-card 13s essentially. If you draw like a codex, it'd be a 2-card 16. Off of a king shark or something.
Hmm.
So this card just does so many crazy things in the deck. Um, of course, deck velocity is a big deal for Marlin, and so
Hmm.
when you have this kind of deck velocity where you have 3 cards that draw 3, you have 6 cards that draw 2, and then you have multiple cards that draw 1 plus the gold itself. I mean, being able to play out your whole entire deck by like turn 7 is not unrealistic.
Okay. I mean, turning through your deck by like turn 7 is like some like crazy like, MTG combo or like Yu-Gi-Oh nonsense. So like being
Oh
able to
yeah.
do that off of a hero that I think most people have been, sleeping on in CC, to be able to do that in LL seems pretty impactful.
Oh yeah, it is an insanely fun deck to play also. There are some issues with it, of course, just like any other deck in LL.
Hmm.
One thing is like because this deck exists, I believe that illusionists are a little bit better going into worlds,
Okay.
just because people are going to pack a lot of Marlin hate because they've seen a lot of the social media hype for the deck. Uh, Nathan, the Runaways, I saw rated very high. So a lot of Starvos, Viserais are going to be packing 6 to 9 D reacts, staunches, turn timbers, or stuff like that if they want to tech into Marlin,
Hmm.
which I believe are the slots that are going to be taken up by the poppers for Prism and Dromai. In my opinion, those would be getting a huge boon from the reveal of the Marlin deck in the recent couple weeks.
Interesting. So it's weird to think about. If you had told me 2 weeks ago that Marlin was going to have a meta shift or a meta impact on Living Legend, I probably would have laughed at you. But it's really cool to think that people teching for one thing or another leads like, oh, like this other door is now opening up. So Illusionist has
Hmm.
this like window to jump in. And it's just cool to think about like how things can change, because it feels like this Marlin deck has ran upon us pretty quickly. Well, let me take that back. Maybe not you. You might have been aware of it for a while, but it has ran across me pretty
Maybe,
quickly.
maybe, maybe it was like the one time I had the secret actual good deck and not like a blue surging strike Zen deck or anything like an actual good one.
Oh man, what a throwback! What event was that? I remember being in a hotel lobby listening to you talk about that somewhere.
I think that was Nats the first like when Misspell dropped. I forgot what Nats that would be. Minnesota?
2024 Minneapolis. Yeah.
Minneapolis, that was it, yeah.
Okay, cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. Um, so you mentioned how you feel like Marlin can shift the meta, in
Mhm.
LL to like try and make illusionists have like a little bit of a better room. In a like similar but different note, let's talk about how all of the impactful harpoons like play out in LL. Because like in
Yeah.
CC, we're so used to like, oh, like like you're playing Syndra, catch of the day and the King Shark harpoon is crazy. Do
Mhm.
do the harpoons have different spreads, different values? Like, what does that look like
Oh.
in LL?
So what's really funny is I'm a firm believer that the more harpoons that have text in a matchup, the better the deck gets in CC. Well, it's also the same in LL, but the funny thing is, if you want to look at like Viserai, Starvo, Chain, Dio, all these decks, King Shark and King Kraken are both very relevant on hits. Like Starvo is like maybe 24 non-attack actions, 36 attack actions into the matchup. I mean, including like D-reacts and stuff, of course. But like,
Sure.
like it's close to a 50-50, so you never know what you're going to get whenever you throw either of them. And of course, the Rune Blades, like the Rune Blades playing Sonata, of course, are going to be 50-50.
Hmm.
Chain, of course, 50-50. Being able to hit like a Cerebellum off of a Dio with Kraken is a big deal. So a lot of the top decks in the meta, both of your Majestic Harpoons are very, very good, which makes the deck automatically better when you're able to have 9. I'm going to include Codex, but when you have 9 of these red Harpoons, and then the blue ones are equally as good. Like, whenever Yellowfin is hitting power cards in the Living Legend format, making it a viable Harpoon, that's a huge deal. But I do believe that the meta will shift a little bit in a way that the deck is not as good. People are going to inherently, go look on social media. Oh, I need to put in Sync Belows and reduce the rune chance in my Viscerai list to help me with the matchup, stuff
Okay.
like that. So the deck is going to go down a little bit in stonks, but I still think it's very well positioned.
Okay. So it's really interesting to hear you mentioned Yellowfin Harpoon specifically. And that's one
Mhm.
that stands out to me because I feel like, in CC, like Yellowfin is a blue or it's a 3 block a
Mhm.
lot of times in a lot of matchups. But being able to get that value again, like with Yellowfin Harpoon, it feels like there's probably, quite a bit of decks that get targeted like that. Like whether you're taking just like good aggro pieces or combo pieces, Yellowfin probably stands out as one you might look to play more often than not in some matchups.
Yeah, there's definitely some matchups. If you want like a Briar, you can hit the new Skyward Serenade. They usually run like Yellow Ball Lightning. In Starvo, you can hit like the Plow Unders, the Starstrucks, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Viscerai, I know they're playing Succumb. Uh, and they have numerous other yellows. I believe they're playing like Rune Rager Swarm is a
Okay.
card that I've seen a few. Incantations,
Yep.
the yellow ones. I've even hit a few Ninth Blades. Not,
Okay.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure, we're doing that." Um, but this arrow actually being a good arrow is feeling awesome. It also hits, of course, Art of War, Tome of Findal, which are massive hits. Whenever you're throwing this and they have an Art of War in their hand. Um, I think the deck that actually this deck being viable hurts the most is Zen because like you have Battering Bolt, which hits their Transcend cards. You know, Bluefin Harpoon, their hands don't function whenever you take a blue out of their hands. And realistically, Zen gets the biggest nerf from Marlin, while the Illusionist gets this huge buff.
So it's so interesting. I don't know. Like you rattled off a number of cards that Yellowfin Harpoon hits. And it's
Mhm.
like against Syndra or even like Verdance and CC, you're not doing a lot with Yellowfin Harpoon, it feels like.
No.
It's just so interesting to see how the deck is so similar but plays so differently based off of like the meta spread in LL and like the different types of cards we play. It just I don't know. It just listening to you and having this conversation is kind of just like my brain is just like cycling and I can't keep up thinking about all the different things you could do with this deck in this format.
Do you like drawing cards, by the way? I know you play like Channel Lightning Valley, which is like one card draw. I can show you a deck that draws like, I don't know, five, six.
you
I
know,
know in a testing game against Nathan, he'd just be like, he actually munged me he was on Starvo and he munged me and I went 3-0 from Arsenal, past turn, and then I had like a 5 card hand and a card in Arsenal. I was like, that was sick. I was like, that was cool. I was like, I don't even care what you say. I was like, I had this huge hand. I'm like, okay.
dude, that's so funny. To like, so for a deck like this to be able to play around Warmongers, with like certain things like Tipple
Mhm.
being able to reload, Art of War being able to reload is just so. I don't know. Like, my first thought is like, oh, Warmongers is probably one of the best hate cards you can have against this deck.
Nope.
And there's just so many things that don't care about it.
Yeah. Well, the big thing is also if you actually have a harpoon in your arsenal and
Hmm.
you warmongers me, I just name war, activate my cannon, and just shoot it anyway for like 10 overpower. It
Wow,
doesn't even matter. Nothing happens.
man.
Uh, but since we are talking about warmongers, we can talk about the sideboard card, Honing Hood.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tell me about this.
Yeah, I think this was shown off at the AGE by Patrick. Syndra warmongered him. He just Honing Hood, put a King Shark in his arsenal, and threw it for 10. This card is essentially one free, you can't warmongers me this turn if I have a harpoon in my hand. That last part's really important, but it's majority of the time relevant. Now,
Oh,
of course, is it the one you want? Yeah, maybe not. But it's still damage on a Warmonger's turn, kind of like the old Azalea arm pieces.
hmm.
When they used to break it, put 2 cards back, and throw like 10 at you?
Oh man, I got to tell you, I don't miss that. I can't remember
Yeah.
what the arm piece was called, but when they would just do that and throw Red in the Ledger at at you for 9 anyway, after you played like what you thought was this just like killer shut them down card, it felt so bad. It always felt so bad.
What was it long draw half glove or something?
Yep, blocked for 1. I remember that was the Ranger fridge back in the day. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh, that's too funny. So looking at your sideboard here, like you have null rune boots as like AB1, for like rune chance and other things like that. And then you have base of the mountain, which I assume is like Starvo tech.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, yeah, I'm getting a head nod there. But I'm also noticing that you have Riches of Tropeldani and Authority of Ataya. Two cards that have really like, got some of their like value over the last like 6 months coming out in high seas and in Super Slam. So what matchups in LL are you looking to hit Authority with?
Well, recently I've been testing a lot into Starvo, where I'm playing that into Starvo right now. That way, if they want to do like a staunch, they can't use like a flexors on it, or they can't do a full pitch into the staunch.
Okay.
They'd have to like use a tunic or something. It's pretty good into like Viscerais that are playing like Sink Belows now, into Marlins and stuff like that. Oldhim, it's odd, it's really relevant. Yes, I've even tested into Oldhams and news.
Okay.
I've I've been down deep, man. I want to
I
make sure I have an idea of what's happening in
I
the
was like, dude,
game of Flesh and Blood.
you are running down the rabbit hole. When you said Oldham, I was like, wait, what? We can play Oldham?
I think so. I mean, like, but that's a different story. That's a different YouTube video.
Man, dude, Taylor's really psyoping us. He's been on the Marlin train for the last like 6 months to a year, or whenever High Seas came out, just pushing Marlin so he could play Oldham at Worlds. This was really the whole shtick the whole time.
Actually, though, that does sound really fun.
If you told me that you spent 6 months pushing a hero just to psyop the world and play something different at Worlds, I'm not even mad at you. As your friend, who I would hope would be in on it, I'm not even mad. Like, just respect. The dedication to the bit is insane at that point.
Oh my god, dude! Could you imagine that? They're like, "Oh, I'm on the Marlin list." And you're like, "Cool." Anyway, Blaze Headlong for 4 go again. Play Chromite. It's like, what? Oh my god, he got me this time. He got me.
Oh, that's so funny. And then we talked about this on a previous stream, but Riches of Tropeldani allows you to have a powerful end game, right? Where it basically
Oh
makes
yeah.
you hard to fatigue.
Yeah, you're unfatigable with this card in the blue in your deck. You activate the Harpoon, you make a gold, you play you already have a Goldfin in your arsenal, you play it, then you arsenal the Goldfin, and you repeat that process. You essentially have a yellow Evergreen with evasion for the end game.
Yellow evergreen with evasion. I feel like
Yep.
there are a lot of Earth players who would sign up to play an evasive yellow evergreen in their deck if they had the ability to.
Yeah, it's very good, I promise. I've won many a games with it.
I love it. So we've talked about a lot of the big different pieces here. If you were gonna tell somebody whether they should or shouldn't play Marlin, like right now, we're recording this on like what, the Thursday before Worlds.
Yeah.
How many reps would you say you have to have with Marlin before right now when you're watching this to pick up the deck and learn it before next Friday?
Probably. Well, oh my gosh. Oh, that's such a hard question because you have to start thinking, are my opponents teching for me or not? Because
Okay.
as your opponents get teched for you, you have to play a lot more tighter, and you have to understand like what your like blue base is actually doing with like C4 salvage and port side and stuff like that to
Okay.
have a better matchup spread. So if you don't think that the world's meta is going to adapt to Marlin, I'd say 75 games to get the flow of the deck.
Okay.
But if you think that you're going to see Turn Timber or you're going to see 9D React Viscerai with Warmongers, I would say you'd probably need 200 games.
Okay. So, I would say that, 75 is still a pretty high number. So it sounds like
Mhm.
you can't just pick up Marlin. So if you're watching this and you've played like 2 games of Marlin ever and they were in draft during High Seas Limited, probably don't
You
pick up the hero in LL.
you have 73 more games. Uh, no, I want to say it is a good pick. Do I think it's like second best deck in the format? It is when no one is prepped for you, if that makes any sense. If like I went to a tournament and no one had D-Reacts in their decks, I would say it's the second best deck in the room. But as soon as someone brings out like the Fridge and like Staunch and Turn Timber and Starvo or like Sink Fate in the aggro decks, it is not as good as a matchup as people are expecting.
So you're saying we should have had Worlds 2 weeks ago, and you could have been holding the trophy, huh?
No, because I'm still playing Marlin and CC.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Listen to this man. Listen to this man. Oh,
That's the issue.
well, Taylor, thank you so much for doing this, man. I really appreciate you being willing to jump on and talk about the deck. I know a lot
Of
of people
course.
have been referring to this as a meme. Is there anybody that you want to shout out or talk about before we wrap up?
Oh, I want to thank Flesh and Bad for allowing me to show off their list. Of course, my list is very similar. I mean, there's not much room that you can actually do, but I'm pretty sure that Nathan would be like, "Oh, why are you showing off the list that I just spoiled for everybody?" I'm like, "Thanks, man.
Oh man,
Thanks."
we get to start the video with a shot at Nathan. We get to end the video with a shot at Nathan. That's it.
Oh,
Thanks for
that's all I
watching,
want.
guys.